What are you wearing?
A Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian.
I'm a hockey player. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
Presented by Scott Credit Union. Yours.
BlueNote Fan Report. It's playoff time. Playoff time. Playoff time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. It's playoff time. And this is the BlueNote Fan Report. This is the show where you are as important as me, and you're as important as the game. Your comments, what you got to say, we want to hear it, right? We want to hear what you got to say about the game. If you're in St. Louis Blues Lounge or St. Louis Blues Nation or We All Bleed Blues, those groups limit what you can say. They kicked me out because I promoted my show. I mean, that's absolutely stupid. This is where your voice is heard the way you want it to be heard. Yeah, there's idiots in those. I would love to get some of those idiots on this show. I'd love to get some of them idiots on this show.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
We lost. I wasn't able to watch the show last game. Oh, not your fault, Aaron. Look, it wasn't as bad of a game as everybody thinks it was. It really, really, really wasn't. Right? I'm telling you, the Blues, for the most part, they were winning that game. Right? Unfortunately, when it mattered, they fell into that defensive posture that former coaches taught. And it caught up with them. And I think Montgomery realizes that. And he talked about that. And you've seen my post? I don't know what you're talking about, Jason. No, I knew it would be close. I'm not shocked at all. This is going to go 6 or 7 games for sure. I think it is too, bud. I really think it is too. You know, like I said, they probably could have won that game if they don't go into that defensive posture. This team, they're and how do I say this in a way? No, they didn't update this. This game 2? Home team. No, they did not update this. Oh, because I'm on the wrong one. Dum give me gum. There we go, guy. Get on the right notes. There we go. Okay. It's on the wrong notepad. There we go. Now it's updated. Now we can see. Now I got the right stuff. The overall, the Blues played a very good game. Right? You didn't see it on, I don't know what page you saw it on. You didn't see it on one of the big groups. The big groups have all kicked me out. There's a few smaller groups that I'm in, but any of the big groups, I'm gone. They kicked me out. Right? And St. Louis Blues Nation, gone. St. Louis Blues Lounge, gone. We all bleed blue. Gone. Everything blues. Gone. There's a couple other ones. Gone. Gone, gone, gone. Oh, it's okay, bud. But hey, I want to tell you this. I put a lot of thought in this. I really, really need you to keep your comments to what we're talking about, right? You go off in a tangent sometimes, and really that's not effective for the show. I do not want to have to put you in timeout. I am asking that you keep your comments based on what I'm talking about. Okay? I love your comments, but you got to keep them on what we're talking about. Thank you. Sister JJ. The JJJJ. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Come on, ESPN. You don't need to play these stupid ass commercials. Aaron's got to make some food. I'm missing all the big guys. JJ, Kyle Mead. Aaron Nels, thank you. I think it's going to be a big game. I think tonight's going to be big. We are playing game 2 and Dallas is playing game 2. There are 2 game 1s starting. Los Angeles and Edmonton start tonight, and then the Capitals and Montreal start their series tonight. My pick'em challenge is still open. I'll probably show it later. I haven't made my picks yet. I'm kind of waiting. I want to wait. I know they got to be in by tomorrow. I will probably put them in after tonight's game. I really want to get a feel for what's going on for the couple of game 2s. Dallas scared me. Dallas did not seem ready, and I thought Dallas was the better team, but they just did not seem ready. Wayne, do you want to come on, bud? I know you asked me before. Why are you not in uniform? The Capitals game, they're showing an Army second lieutenant, and she's, if you're in this position, you should be in uniform. Okay, Wayne, I will send you the link, and you and me can do this together. You guys like my background? Like the background? I got it set up over here. All right. For the West, East is hidden. Got Jobu. He's ready. Oh, man, you guys are bringing it. Parking his work truck. He's going to be here. Shaggy! Shaggy, we love you. You're welcome here anytime, Shagalicious. Shagalicious doesn't have a coach. Hey, Shaggy, Bannister's available. He's going to hate me. That password is for my group, for the challenge there, not for anything else, bud. If you go to the NHL.com or bracket challenge, my group is the BlueNote Fan Report Challenge, and you need to enter the password Bleeding Blue the way it is there. Okay, Wayne, I sent you the link. Too much going on for me right now. The Rangers go to a former player. Well, Shag, you can come on later and talk about it if you want to. Right? Wayne is from Winnipeg, so he's kind of a Jets fan. He's more of a Blackhawks fan. But we enjoy Wayne. We like Wayne. Wayne's been a good Wayne's one of them non-blues fans that's found this show and likes it and likes what we do. And I appreciate that. And I will always appreciate stuff like that. I want other fans. I really don't mind it. You know, I just ask you be respectful. That's it. Keep it respectful and I'm happy. Right? It's when you start attacking that I have the issues. Right? It's where politically it's where I get upset. It's when you start the name calling and that other stuff. At that point, you absolutely your argument goes away. If you have to resort to a name calling, everything you say is zero. It means nothing. Right? Now the one problem is I do not get, because I am in Hawaii, I do not get to see the feed from so I don't get your pregame shows or your intermission reports. I have the NHL one, so I'm kind of limited on that. Oh, there he is. Oh, I hope that continues. I really hope that continues. I didn't realize that. Thank you for adding that on. Oh, my goodness. Caps coming in hot. Caps coming in hot. I just want a good game tonight, man. I want a good, solid game. I want to have fun. I want you guys to have fun. I want the show to have fun. And I might do an announcement tonight. I've been holding on to something because I'm not like 100% sure it's going to happen, but it could. Oh my goodness. Oh no! We're in trouble. We're in trouble. It's Gina. Hi, Gina. Hi, Gina. No, but your son is. Oh, that was hard. That was hard.
Hawaii Blues fan, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
You must respect my authority. That's it. You have to respect my authority. Authority, you better believe it.
Take me to your leader. He's an absolute nutball. That's who I was talking about. Which one? Probably both of them. Gina. Gina, we love you. We miss you too. Boy, I'm in the mood, right? I'm learning. No, I have some news that for this show news that could all three take them fishing. That I've been holding on to because I was afraid of putting it out too early. When I first found out, I thought maybe 20% chance it happens. Now I'm closer to like a 60% chance it happens. I hope to get more information today or tomorrow. No, it's not. I'll just say this. The show news has something to do with XM satellite radio, and I'll leave it at that. And we'll go from there. I agree, Jason. Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that. Right? That you're correct. If they play their offense and don't worry about offensively aggressive, defensively responsible. You get back to that. Oh, wow. Gallagher just got whacked in the face. Oh, man, he got whacked right in the eye. Not yet, but working on it. There's a lot of personal stuff that goes into, oh, wow, yeah, he got cross-checked in the face. There's a lot of personal stuff that goes into with me moving home, a lot of deep personal stuff. I want to move home. It's not as easy as I talk about. Monty wearing a hat might help. I hope so. Right? Oh, here we go. We got my buddy and my friend.
I'm in. I'm ready.
Right? What did you think of game one? Let's talk about game one first of all.
Sure. Let me just interrupt you for 1 second.
You're more than welcome.
I want to say thanks for having me. And you got it part right. I am a Hawks fan, but I was born in Winnipeg.
Yep. I said that.
Yeah.
I said that. I said you were from Winnipeg.
I didn't hear you. I was trying to get in.
Yeah. Yep. What did you think of game? What were your impressions of game one?
Okay, so game one, real easy. Hellebuck has to play better in game two. He played down to the way he's been playing in the playoffs the last couple of years. I didn't think he played a very good game, but I will say this: the Jets, when they were down in the third and they had to crank it up, they did. But overall, 2 periods went to the Blues.
I think the Blues lost that game. Winnipeg didn't win it. Right? In the third period, the Blues went into a defensive posture instead of staying offensively aggressive. I think if they stay offensively aggressive, they win that game.
Yeah, but I think in the third period also, the Jets, they really weren't skating the first 2 periods. Like, the Blues were all over them.
Mm-hmm.
They were making the offensive zone, contact.
Yeah.
They were keeping the Jets at bay. Hellebuck again, he did not play very good.
Both goalies' numbers don't have good. Hellebuck's one game 3.0 with an 824.
Yeah.
Bennington's 4.06 with an 840. Bennington, but here's the thing with me: none of the goals against Bennington were on Bennington.
No.
I can put at least 2 of the goals against Hellebuck on Hellebuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? But at the same time, they were good shots.
And before game one, I said to some people that I know, in all honesty, if the Jets stay out of the box and the Blues put themselves in the box, then, that's what's going to win the series. Because the Blues cannot afford to be killing penalties all the time against the number 1 power play unit.
But I felt like, I don't think they got one power play. They got 1 power play goal. Each team. Well, the Blues had 2 power play goals. They had 1.
Yeah.
But I forget what the power play numbers were. The special teams numbers were. They weren't. I felt like the Blues special teams were much better. Right.
Oh, listen, they played good. Listen, overall, the Blues played a very good game for game one. They played an almost flawless road game.
Yeah, they gave up 1 goal on 4 attempts, so 75% on the penalty kill. They scored 2 goals on 3 attempts, 66%. So overall special teams, I give to the Blues.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. There were a ton of penalties in that game.
Well,
right?
I think
At the end of the
Jets,
game, they gave out every player got it on the ice, got a 10-minute misconduct.
After the Jets, got the lead there, I think the Blues got a little chippy because they realized, look, they messed up. They had the game. They were going to win game 1 and go up 1-0.
Yeah, I think so too.
They just got pissed off and they got a little undisciplined, and it got a little chippy. But hey, that's hockey. You gotta have a little, you gotta have a little action Jackson going at times.
All right. Where are we at? Hey, Ashley, how are you? We miss you. Makes those saves you're not supposed to, but Hellebuck let it in back to back. Well, he let in 2 gloves back to on the high glove, two shots on the high glove, and then Kyrou shot. Nobody's stopping that.
No, and Kyrou, let's just call a spade a spade.
And then Kyrou had a chance to seal the game on that breakaway. I think if he goes back, he just missed. He put it through the 5-hole, and Hellebuck was able to just slow it down just enough. Yeah. But if he takes that shot high in any way, shape, or form, I think he nails it.
Yeah, well, Kyrou's had a really good season. Here's a guy.
Kyrou's had a great season.
Listen, here's a guy that Blues fans, when Berube was still there, was all over this kid. Look, the kid he's not defense. He's there for the offense. He knows how to score goals. He's got soft hands.
No, Benner was not trying to fight Helly. They did not get into it at all.
No.
Right. I looked at the score sheet at the last game, and I can pull it up here real quick. So this was the penalties at the end of the game. Right? Give me a second to blow it up because I got crappy eyesight and can't see anything on my computer screen. So the Blues, this all happened at the 1941 or later. Shen, 10-minute misconduct. Neighbors, 10-minute misconduct. Bushnevich, 10-minute misconduct. Joseph, 10-minute misconduct. Walker, 10-minute misconduct. Iafallo, 10-minute misconduct. Shafley, 10-minute misconduct. Yoink. Panic. I see that and I want to say punk. Panic or panic. Panic, 10-minute misconduct. Yeah. Stanley, 10-minute misconduct. Luke Shen, 10-minute misconduct. So they all went out. They went out. So there were a ton of penalty minutes.
Well, right? You gotta figure. Look at again going back to the Blues were, winning the game most of the game. Yeah, the Jets tie it up, but to lose it like that with a minute and 36 seconds to go in the game, when Connor, plopped that one in to go up 4-3.
Yeah.
Let's just hope there's not, for all Blues fans anyways, let's hope there's not a hangover effect, because that can affect the team sometimes.
It can. I don't think there'll be a hangover effect. The one line change that the Blues have made, I don't know if the Winnipeg, they have switched Neighbors and Snuggerud. I don't have a huge issue with that. I think putting Snuggerud up there with his, if Snuggerud was a 19-year-old, yeah, I would have an issue with it. He's 21. He has 3 years. Yes, I know the NCAA isn't the minor, but he has 3 years. He's got the intelligence. And then when you're playing with Bushnevich and Thomas, they can cover any mistakes that he makes. Right? Putting Neighbors with Holloway beating out, putting Neighbors with Shen and Kyrou strengthens that line.
Right.
We're putting Snuggerud up with Thomas and Bushnevich doesn't weaken that line. But putting him with Kairu and Shen, I felt weakened the line a little bit. Hey, the other co-host is enjoying your comments there, Wayne.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, look, I'm just a hockey buff.
Right?
Love the game. I think it's the greatest game on
You
earth.
notice what I got up here, right?
Yeah,
Right, and then right behind me.
I see.
All right. We'll do this. We'll go like that. How's that? It might be a little better.
Yeah.
Put us all up that way. Look, I just want a good hockey game. I want to have fun tonight. I want the teams to play well. I expect this to be a tight series. Even if this went 5 games, I think it's going to be. You're not going to see blowouts. You're going to see
the Blues are better. The Blues are better than 5 games, though.
I think they are too.
Yeah,
I think the Blues can win it in 7 or 6. I actually think they can win it in 6.
See, I don't think they can win it, but I think they're more than competitive, and I think they can press Winnipeg. You know, I mean, you got to figure, you know, and you can't just say it was the number 1 team, even though they won the President's Trophy. But we haven't had a President's Trophy winner win the Cup since 2013 with Chicago.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like the cover of the Madden, you know, football deal where that guy always on the cover gets injured.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, I don't play as much. For me, the curse is first and second round.
Yeah.
You get to the 3rd round, that's where you're supposed to be.
Well,
right?
but I still say the NHL, they need to go back to the 1-8, 2-7.
No.
I like that better.
No.
Well, let me ask you this then, Guy.
Okay.
We're going to have 2 of the best teams in the entire NHL that's gone from the playoffs after the first 2 rounds. And that's guaranteed.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Well, not really.
No, it is. Here's the thing. You got, first of all, you almost have a true 1v. You have a 1v8 right here in what we're talking about, right?
If it was the other way, yeah.
Right now, you have 1v8 and 2v7, no matter what. The only difference is what you're talking about is Dallas would play either LA or Edmonton, and Colorado would play the other one. The problem with all that is, and this is what everyone forgets. First of all, when we had the 1v8, one of the years that the 8th seed won the cup like 3 or 4 different times, at least 2.
Yes.
Right? One of them was the Kings. I absolutely remember that because they went through us.
I will say this. It doesn't, I mean, that's just a personal preference.
Okay.
But if you get in the playoffs in NHL, I don't care where you're seated because all 16 teams really have a shot at winning it. You go to the NBA playoffs, I don't think they've had a past a 2 seed win the NBA championship in over 25 years. You pretty much know what's going to happen in the NBA. The NHL, it's a roll of the dice.
Here,
and this is team going in win.
This is what everyone talks about. A lot of the rivalries, the divisional rivalries that are out there, right? Not counting the original 6. Every expansion era rivalries. Chicago, well, with one exception, Chicago, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, Detroit, St. Louis, Minnesota, or St. Louis Stars, Dallas, right? Chicago, Dallas. All of that came out of the Norris division. When in the old Norris division, when there were 20 teams in the league, 16 teams made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
4 teams in each division. And Toronto was in the Norris division, but they see at that point, they seemed like they almost never made the playoff. If they did, they were out in the first round. Right?
Well, Toronto's been doing that for 40 years.
Longer than that, actually. 50-something years.
1967 was the last time
they've never played. I don't think they've ever played in 3 rounds.
They never have. All their out of their 13 cups, they were always a two
Yeah.
rounders.
Everything was the 2 rounds. I don't think they've ever won 3 rounds in a play. They've never won 3 rounds because they've never been back to the Stanley Cup.
You're
Right?
Yep.
But all of that rivalry was created in the playoff system that had divisions playing against each other. That's what they went back to with this system. And my issue is, in the 1v8, you still had the upsets consistently.
Oh, no question.
People that want the 1v8, in my mind, and don't take this personally, don't want the upsets. And that's the problem. I think the upsets make the game great.
Look at,
They
I
make the
remember
playoffs great.
how many times did the Sharks knock off the #1 overall seed Detroit?
Couple of times.
A couple times, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When one of LA's wins, they were an 8 seed.
Yep.
Right? One of their cups, they were an 8 seed all the way through. So when people say that, I'm saying, but you're missing. To me, you're missing the importance of the playoffs.
Well,
And first of all, the one thing, and I've said this time after time, the difference between the best team in the league and the 32nd team is minuscule. Minuscule. Right?
Oh, yeah, minuscule, absolutely.
But when we look at it, okay, so you go, Winnipeg had 116 points, and what did the Sharks have? Like 56 points, right?
56 points.
Yeah. So when you look at it, you see that huge discrepancy.
But this year especially, how many times did San Jose lose games that they were in till the end? This year they were competitive.
Yeah, and it's not just that. You take the top 2 guys off of Winnipeg, put them on San Jose, and put the bottom 2 guys on San Jose on Winnipeg.
Oh, you flip the script.
And they're almost even.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, yes. I kind of like that. Joseph out, Tucker in. Well, who's the other forward out then? We're going with 7D. Oh, wow. Going with 7D. I'm not. That's interesting. See, that concerns me.
That's because that's the heavy forwards that Winnipeg has.
Yeah, but now you're saying that you didn't play good enough defense when, in my eyes, you didn't play good enough offense in the third period when it mattered. If you play offensively aggressive and defensively responsible, the puck stays in Winnipeg zone, and they don't have a chance to score.
But there's times in that game your D gets worn down by them big forwards that Winnipeg has.
Yeah.
So this way you can, insert another guy and give, somebody a break here and there. It doesn't have to log it, in at 20 minutes. Maybe he plays 18 or 17 minutes and now he's fresh in the third.
So here's my thing. That means, to me, Sonny and Bolduc aren't going to get a lot of ice time. Sundqvist and Bolduc aren't getting a lot of ice time, and I feel like Bolduc,
right. They're going to try and go 3 lines a lot more.
I feel like Bolduc needs that ice time in the playoffs. Right. Our scoring D ain't bad. That's true. That's a good point. Coaching makes a big difference. Look at Fowler. That's a good point.
Listen, I'll say this: if you're a Blues fan, you got to be loving life right now because that team is young. And they're just so talented. All these kids that are going to be coming up in the next year and two.
Yeah.
Wow. They're going to be the powerhouse in that division going forward.
Yeah. We are a year ahead of our schedule. I just turned it on so that they're coming to the ice. We're a year ahead of schedule, which is I mean that's the thing. We weren't supposed to be in the playoffs. But we're a year ahead of schedule. We've got Dvorsky and Steinberg and Snugard, Bolduc, all these young guys coming in, right? I don't have everyone on Bolduc for the penalties. He's young, first playoff game. My issue with that penalty, first of all, it was a penalty on Bolduc. However, it should have been matching penalties because the guy took a dive. Right?
Yeah.
The guy
You could
that,
look.
that
You could probably, see, that's the thing with
did you see that game? Did you see that game in the third with the cross
well,
check?
I was working, so
Yeah.
I had my iPad on.
Uh-huh.
So, but I missed parts. There's no question
Yeah.
about that.
I forget who it was he cross-checked, but you watch him, and just the way he goes down, it's an absolute dive.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like he hit him in the shoulder.
Right.
And he went down like he tripped him. Right? So
Okay.
to me, that should have been called both ways. Right?
And that's the thing about when you're a referee, there's always going to be that human factor of how they see it.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Another ref might have called it that way.
Yeah. Well, this is why I keep advocating for that fifth official. Right? Get my hand up here, right? The fifth official up, not in Toronto, in the arena, watching the video, immediately watching the game, just like the announcers do, and catching that stuff and going buzzing down and saying, hey, that needs to go both ways.
Right.
Because the guys on the ice,
or at least look at a replay and see,
yeah,
because they're all, at that point. If you add another official, it's going to have to come down to them all agreeing upon it.
I think that, but for me, this guy isn't on the ice. He's upstairs, right? But he's in arena.
Yeah.
He's in arena.
He's in the arena, sure.
Right? And it's immediate. It's not waiting to go to freaking, waiting to go. It's him calling down, saying, hey, get on the headsets real quick. This is what I saw. Look at this. What do you think?
Or, for that fact, even, Guy, there's guys watching these games in Toronto.
Yeah.
At least give the guy watching the game then the same opportunity to buzz in and say, hey, we need to look at this.
My problem with that is you take out the emotion of the game. And I think the emotion of the game is extremely important to how penalties are called.
Sure it is. Well, that's why in
the emotion of that game, if you're in Toronto and you're not in that arena and you're not feeling the emotion of what's going on in that game, you may not pick up on that. But if you're involved, if you're emotionally invested, and I know these guys are not supposed to be, but that's bullshit, you have to be. The coaches are,
it's
the
just
players
human
are.
nature to get caught up in
Yeah, you're going to be emotionally invested. Your job is to control the emotion. That's the job of the referee, but you're still emotionally invested.
Yeah. By
having an extra guy that is able to look at that and go, hey, we got to stop. This is not a one-sided penalty. And if he's there with the emotion, and I know the anthem's playing right now.
Yes.
I will give Winnipeg a lot of credit. They have handled the anthems very, very well.
Well, listen, I was born in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
They're not like Western Canada or Eastern Canada where they get caught up in all this, let's just say, garbage that's going on with all the, the stuff.
Yeah.
They're more just, it's a blue collar town. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, blue collar as you can get. And I don't get up there very often anymore. I got family that lives up there, but I mean, I've lived down here for 45 years now.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh, I get it, man. But for me, and that's the one great thing about this. You have two blue collar towns facing off against each other.
Sure. No question.
Right. And that, again, that's why I'm not a fan of the 1v8. I think that keeping it within divisions is the right thing to do. I like the wild card. And then again, everyone that goes back, oh, well, they used to do the 1v8. Actually, no, they didn't. They did not do a true 1v8.
No, they didn't. They took the division winners and then the rest.
So there were times where that division winner wouldn't even have qualified for the playoffs.
There was some weak divisions there for a while.
Yeah, when they had the 6 divisions, there
It
were
was
some
kind of like in
divisions.
football when the Seahawks won that division a few years ago with
Yeah,
a losing record.
yeah,
Like, you have no right, first off, being in the playoffs. Second of all, actually hosting a playoff game.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I for me, I want divisions to be. I don't think in the NFL, I don't think they play in the division enough. I think they should play 3 games against each divisional opponent.
yeah, that'd be 9 games of your 17 games, though. Like,
Yeah,
you're already
but
playing.
again, because you make the division so important.
Yeah,
There were I forget what it was. I think it was the Raiders one year. They were 6-10 when it was 16 games,
right.
but they won all 6 games in the division.
In the division.
They
Lost
were 6-0 in the division,
Yeah,
right? 6-0 in the division, but lost to every other. So,
right. Went
but
0-10
you
the
make
rest
winning
of
the
the way.
division. You make the division important. Well, wait a minute. If the winning the division is important, then the divisional games got to have more importance to them, right?
Yeah,
Because at that point, you know, every team lost to Detroit twice. Whatever team won the division lost to Detroit twice,
right.
and they were the last place team in the division. So to me, I want the divisions to me. I like the way the NHL does it, where you play 4 or 5 games within your division. You play the 3 games in your conference, and then the 2 games in the opposite conference.
Yeah.
Right? I love it. I think it's fair. We're about to have puck drop.
Yes,
Are you going to
we
be able to stay with me tonight, bud?
I'll be able to stay for most of the game if you want.
Right?
Absolutely.
Well, now there's 8 divisions opponents. There didn't used to be, Lance. I was talking about Lance. I was talking about the NFL, not the NHL.
Yeah, I just drove in from. I left 9 o'clock this morning from Charlotte, North Carolina. Drove home back here to Alabama.
Oh, wow.
I got in about an hour ago. I did not want to miss this game tonight. I wanted to see it.
Lance, I disagree with you. We talked about that earlier. I felt that by putting Snugard on the top line, that it doesn't weaken the top line because you have Thomas and Bushnevich, 2 very, very good veterans. And then by no, they don't. Well, they might now because they have. Well, no. How many teams are each division? It's 14. Is it 4 teams? I don't remember. Well, I know, Lance. We can disagree.
Now, just out of curiosity, Guy, I'm
Yeah.
at 1907, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I'm at 1857.
So you're ahead of me. Okay.
I'm a little ahead of you.
Okay.
But you got to remember, the people watching are 15 seconds behind us. We have a 10 to.
So they're probably more in line like with where I'm at.
Yeah, we're gonna have a delay ahead.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you'll be ahead of all of us. So, and early going here, just in the first couple minutes, it looks like Winnipeg is going to be heavy on the body.
All right.
You know,
last game, St. Louis got to their game first.
Oh, there's
Winnipeg
no question.
Stayed on it longer.
Yes.
Oh, another shot.
Yeah.
It looks like Winnipeg's trying to get to their game quicker.
Yep.
Which actually I think might bode well for the Blues, because if the Blues might be able to stay on it longer than they did last time. I think this game goes St. Louis's way. I really do. I think this goes back to St. Louis 1-1.
Well, that's what St. Louis wants. That's what any road team wants to do, is just go home to their building 1-1. And any team that can do that, they have played exactly where they want to be.
Shaggy says and the Rangers are 15
years behind.
You have to watch it on actual ESPN2. This one, so these are nationally televised games. You have to watch them. You cannot watch them. Well, actually, I had it on ESPN earlier, so I had it on ESPN Plus, so you might be able to watch it on ESPN Plus. I don't know.
Wow. And the Blues are skating hard here too. That was beautiful right there. Like a lot of, hey, when the Blues turned it around this year, I'm going to tell you, Montgomery was the absolute perfect choice to insert as the head coach. Look at Bannister wasn't the long-term guy there anyways.
No, he wasn't.
No,
and we talked about that.
And there's not many coaches that has a resume like Montgomery. I mean, come on. The guy's coach.
Originally, if you looked at Montgomery's contract, it expired in the 2 years that Bannister was a coach. And then also in that 2-year period, Steen takes over as GM. So this was a chance for Steen to have his own coach. It all made sense. But when, Bannister becomes available like that and you're a struggling team. See, I would think what they were going to offer Bannister was like a coaching advisor position. Right. But I also think that there were other teams that were ready to offer him straight coaching. Oh, wow. Kyrou just missed making it 1-0.
Look, he's had a couple good chances early on here already. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think Kyrou gets 45 goals next season. Right? I think a full season under Bannister with this offense, he gets 45. I think him and Thomas are 100-point players.
Listen, last year when you had me on the show a couple times, I said, I think Kyrou, just with the right coaching, could be a 50-goal scorer. Maybe not consistently every year, but he could be that 40 to 50 guy.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to say this. He's not there to play defense. You got other guys there to play defense.
Nope. I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
And you got to put your players in the best position to where they can be used to their maximum ability. And definitely playing defense is not Kyrou, but playing offense definitely is.
Well, Kyrou has a good offensive game now. The last thing he hears out of the coach's mouth isn't, oh, yeah, but he missed that check or he coughed that puck up in the second and it cost us this or, the last thing he was hearing out of Berube was always about some negative thing he did.
And that's the last thing you need to do to a young player like that who has
it wears on you. It wears on you.
Sure.
Right?
Confidence is a huge part of the game.
Right. I agree. I absolutely agree. Right.
So there's another good guy right there, that Thomas.
You look at Winnipeg. You look at Winnipeg right there, and Winnipeg 116 points, the Blues 96 points, and these teams are not 20 points apart.
Well, no, I mean, I had looked at some stats before game one.
Yeah.
And really what separated the two teams was goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
Second was the power play.
But now, when did you look at seasonal stats?
Yes.
Okay, so I did that too. But what I also did is I went back and I looked at the stats from the Four Nation on.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And Four Nation on, St. Louis was better than Winnipeg.
Oh, they were a better team than Winnipeg. Absolutely. I think there was only one or two teams better than St. Louis.
No.
Montreal being one of them. Mm-mm. Montreal after the Four Nations was absolutely, they said number one.
Nope. We had the most points. We were second in, we had the most points, most wins. We were second in goals per game, third in goals per game, fourth, third in goals per game against. And I think we were in the top 5 in power play and penalty kill.
Understood.
Right.
Because they were talking about Montreal. They were talking about Montreal being in dead second to last place, kind of like the Blues were the year you won the cup. And them just coming on like gangbusters, But
well, hold on a second, bud. Well, we're in a commercial break here, real quick. So
yeah, we are.
I want to make sure I'm not, spouting from the mouth here. Let's see. So by game. Date range. Change this to regular season. Here we go. So February 22nd, that was the first game after the. So here we go. The St. Louis Blues were 19-4-3 for 41 points.
Okay.
Canadians were 15-5-6 for 36 points.
For 36. So they were second.
The Blues, no, they were fifth.
Really?
Right? Points percentage wise, the Blues were first. The Canadians were fourth at 690 with 692.
Right.
Goals for per game. The Blues were tied for first with the Kings with 99. The Canadians were 15th with 82. Goals against. The Jets were first overall at 56. That was something that stood out. The Blues were fourth at 60. Montreal was seventh at 69.
So that just tells me right there how much better the West is than the East. Yeah. Because I do know Montreal was dead last, well, second to last. And then they, somehow squeaked into the playoffs right at the end. And
Montreal would not have would have been eliminated from the playoffs a week before.
Oh yeah, if they were in the West.
Season, if they were in the West.
I will tell you this though. I don't know if you watch. I watched the last two Montreal games, right? And that kid Demidov.
No, well, Lance, we'll talk. You mind if I talk about this for a moment? The Snugard, we talked about it earlier. Lance, I understand when Snugard was with Kyrou and Shin. That line, he's not in that point yet where he's as good as Holloway was, and that weakened that line a little bit. If you take Neighbors and drop him down, Neighbors is as good as Holloway. So you pump that line up. Now, when you put Snugard with Thomas and Bolduc, first of all, he's not a 19-year-old. He's a 21-year-old. And yes, I know he played college hockey, but, this guy's got the skills. Any mistakes he makes are covered by the strengths of Thomas and Buchnevich, who are defensive tile players too, who can cover an offensive mistake. So that's why I think putting him in that line is not a bad deal.
Well, and I think Montgomery's thought process here is by moving Snuggerud up and moving, down, you are evening out your three lines that you're really going to go on this game. Because by the looks of it, St. Louis is going to go with a three line lineup for most of the game.
Yeah, well, they're going to go 1-2-4 with a 2.
They're going to use three lines
and messing that third line, putting guys, in and out there.
Yeah, but like you said, I agree with you. There's not going to be many minutes.
Yeah, because you can't take the WTF line out. You got to keep that WTF line because they're your heart and soul right now.
Yeah. But by going with 7 defensemen, you're using 3 lines. You're not using 4.
They got Fosca for tripping, so I missed the hold. I was talking with Wayne and Lance.
They've done a nice job killing this penalty so far. There's only 27 seconds left in the penalty.
17 seconds to go.
So they've done a nice job up till now. They've been keeping the Jets to the outside, nothing down low.
Oh, Benny's on tonight.
Well, he's made a couple big saves so far. That was nice.
Wait till you see the save.
That was a nice save there.
He's on.
He put the pad down and just directed it right off.
And he got over. He got over when he needed to.
Yeah. The penalty, nice job. They killed it off.
Outside.
I told you this before. This is my son's team. He loves the Blues.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, he loves the Blues. He went to St. Louis in 19 when they won it all, and he said it was just a blast.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Aaron. I appreciate it. Where are you at in Alabama? Do you mind saying?
Oh
If
yeah,
I-
I'm in East Aboga.
Okay, because
So I'm sure nobody knows where that is.
yeah, but this summer I plan on coming to the mainland for like 2 months,
Right?
and doing some camping and fishing throughout the U.S.
Yeah.
I may have to make a trip over towards you there, Wayne.
Look, I'll tell you, I don't know if you know anything about Alabama, but Oxford, Alabama is the big town near us.
Yeah. Right.
I live out
Maybe
nice,
maybe I
quiet
could
area,
convince me and Shockey to head out that way
right?
before the kids get into school. Me and Shockey can take out that way.
Nice. Yeah. Heck, hey, hit me up.
How far are you from Fort Rucker?
I don't know. Put it to you this way. I'm right off of 20. I'm in between Birmingham and Atlanta, about an hour and 10 minutes from Atlanta, 45 minutes from Birmingham. So Montgomery's south of me, about an hour. I live out in God's country. Quiet. I hear a few trains every once in a while. Some crickets.
Yeah.
You know, hey, here's the city boy, and I had to get out the city because my wife's from Chicago. I
Hear
grew up
that?
in New York. Yeah, I yeah. But just I'm a hockeyaholic.
Are you by Benning? Fort Benning?
That's not too far. Let me see how far that is. That's not far.
Washington's up 1-0 on Montreal in that game one.
Yeah, so I'm 2.5 hours from Fort Benning.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a good matchup. I think this is a better. I know for a lot of Blues fans would have rather had gotten that number one wild card spot and faced the Knights, but I actually think this is a good matchup for the Blues.
They match up well with the Jets.
Well, here's the thing, because of the Bennington doesn't get the goaltending love he should. He's a top 3 or 4 goaltender in the league. And he doesn't get the love because his numbers aren't great, but he plays so much better than his numbers.
Well, let me ask you this. In game one, you know, do you think it's possible that him and Hellebuck playing against each other like they did in Four Nations could get into Hellebuck's head?
Yeah, absolutely.
I do too. Because Hellebuck, as great as a goaltender, he is probably the best goaltender in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
But
just missed.
come playoff times, he knows how to screw up. Wow.
Yeah. What with Hellebuck will make 7 or 8 great saves, and then he'll let one go by that you or me wouldn't let go by, you know?
Yeah, well, if he's not on his game, he does that. When he's on his game, it's pretty hard to get anything by him. But, you know, again, in the last 3 or 4 years in the playoffs, he does not play very well.
Because he gets worn out because he plays so many games. He did it again this year. He was
I don't agree
in
with
high
that.
60s.
I don't agree with that analogy. Glenn Hall played 511 straight games.
Different era.
Yeah, of course, it's a different era.
Different era.
But
in today's era, these guys, 60 games is the cap. If they're playing more than that, they're getting overused.
He only played 62 or something like that this year.
63.
Okay.
Then he played 58.
He wasn't overused. That guy, he's at the top
Don't
of his game.
Don't forget the 3 games or 4 games of the
Sure, yeah.
The
wow, what a hit.
Four Nation, yeah, it was a big hit.
Wow.
I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Nope, great hit.
Winnipeg did, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. I thought it was a good hit.
Absolutely, great hit. got the crowd into the game. They've been quiet up till now. And the two Shen brothers go right at it.
They'll fight in this series. In the final game, those two will get into it.
You know, it's the first
Especially
time
if it's one
they've
way or
ever
the other.
played against each other in the playoffs.
Shots are 6-4 in favor of St. Louis, just like they were in game one. So far, this is playing game one script. I think Winnipeg is more into this game than they were in game one.
Yeah, because they were definitely not into it in that first period at all. Like, this is going back and forth right now.
Right now, you have Neighbors, Snuggerud, and I can't see who the third forward is out there. Fosca. That's interesting. That was interesting.
Parayko with a big boomer there.
There were almost 100 hits in game one.
And St. Louis really, I mean, doubled the hits in that first period than the Jets had. I think it was like 30 something to 15 or something crazy like that. Oh, St. Louis going back to the box. And again, St. Louis cannot, take penalty after penalty because it'll catch up to them sooner or later.
Hits are 10-7 right now.
Yeah, this game's close.
Yeah. I actually thought at first Kyrou hit Lowry, not the other way around.
He got rocked there. Kyrou got rocked there. He shook his head and he had to chase.
Yeah, but the way they both went down, I thought it was the other way at first. I thought it was the other way. And the way the crowd went off, it sounded like they wanted a penalty, right? Because I seen a bunch of guys doing this, But those are the idiots that don't understand the game. Because that was a good hit, on both ways. That was a good hit.
Yeah, that was nothing wrong with that.
Game over turf. Dave AC, John Hefner, Jason Nichols, JJ, Kyle Meadner, Nels. Thank you for putting them thumbs in the air. Me and Wayne both like it so much. We are watching the game with you. Please share this with your friends. Tell your friends to come join us. Somebody go in Lounge Nation and We All Bleed Blue and tell them, don't use the name of my show because then you'll get blocked. But tell them, hey, if you want a live reaction show, go out and look for one because there's one out there on YouTube and Facebook. As long as you don't say my name, you can't get in trouble.
Right.
Or tell them to message you what the name of the show is.
And get all your friends to come and watch with you tonight.
Absolutely.
Bryce, if you're watching, get your friends on the program. Give a shout out to Guy at the BlueNote Fan Report.
I think he's fine. Shen's parents.
His father supposedly didn't know how to act in game one, they said.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that, though.
Yeah, I get it.
You got your two kids. Look at that. Hitting each other like that in the corners. It's what makes, hockey's the greatest sport in the world.
Oh, I know it is.
I love it.
They had 3 shots in the first one, so you got to limit that this time. Oh, nice save. Oh, no, he whiffed. I thought Bennington got some of them on it, though. It was a backdoor feed. Oh, nice clear, Bush David. Nice clear.
But look at they're keeping Winnipeg to the outside, and that's.
I'm not sure what you mean there. Scary. Yeah, I think it probably was just the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah, they're playing it perfectly right now. The Blues keeping everything to the outside. Box is tight. Hey, look at. You can do all the passing in the world, but you got to get a shot. And you got to put it on net. He had a lane there. Well, we got 25 seconds to go. They've almost got this one killed off, too.
You're taking one of the best penalty kill team or power play teams in the league. Oh, wow. That was nice. That was a good block there.
Yeah.
You'll see it here in a second. Oh!
Oh, my God. What a save by Bennington.
Best 2 goalies in the league. Tell me he's not
Unbelievable.
Tell me he's not as good as Hellebuck.
Look, well, he's not as good, but he's damn good.
I'm sorry. He's as good as Hellebuck. He may not have the numbers, but he's as good.
Hey, he's been a money goalie, though.
Right.
He's been a money goaltender, and he's got a ring. It's more than Hellebuck could say at this point. And that was a huge hit by that St. Louis player on the Jet.
Yeah. Level Lowry there.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. Man, it's
and
crazy.
Lowry ain't no little boy. He got put it on his ass on the ground.
Hits are 11-10. 21 hits already with 3:35 to go in the first.
Right. I'm at 3:35.
That's getting called back. That's getting called back on goaltender interference.
I don't see how.
Watch it.
Him. I'm
Yeah,
he did. I'm gonna have to see the replay.
Right.
Let me see the replay. My initial reaction to that is the defenseman from St. Louis backed into the goaltender.
We'll see.
And I could be wrong, but all right, let's good. No, that's the save by Bennington. That was incredible there.
Here we go.
Stretched out.
Oh, no. He hit his foot's right in Bennington. Watch the skate.
Yeah, I don't see them calling that back. Because that's just the follow through.
Okay, now I see it. No.
The Blues guy kind of hits him.
Yeah, now I see it. No, but when I first looked at it, I would have called that back.
So Snuggerud hit him into him.
Yeah. I don't think Letty looks that bad.
Nick Letty.
Yeah.
Look, there's an ex-Blackhawk. I used to like him with the Blackhawks. You know?
Yeah.
Look at that. The one Blues fan, 2 Blues fans amongst all the whiteout.
See, to me, with them scoring first, I still think the Blues have played a good first period.
There's no question. They played a good road. They played a good road game so far.
That's a lucky bounce goal, right? Because Bennington makes the stop, and the momentum pushes that goal in.
Yeah.
Right. So again, Bennington's playing Bennington, and the bounce goes their way. The Blues get a bounce their way, and it's 1-1.
And again, look, it's not like the Jets are just steamrolling them.
No.
This game is back and forth. It's end to end. They're both hitting each other. This is a great game.
Wendy, I'm going to put you in timeout, bud.
I mean, this is a great game. Oh, what did Wendy say?
Oh, you can't see.
No, I can't see the comments. Oh.
Luke Corrick says Mark Shafley has 2 goals in this series, and he didn't mean to score either of them. Yeah, that's why I'm not pushing it on.
Hey, but next year, the Chicago Blackhawks are the youngest team in the NHL. You watch. And
They're still 2 years away from the playoffs.
You know what, though? They could be like the Blues this year. If they get, I want to see who they get in free agency.
Where's
first.
where's the veteran presence to get them there? They're not going to have that. That's going to be a huge thing.
Listen, I know they're going after Marner. They're going to try and get Marner in the worst way. And if they can't get him, we'll see what plan B is. But right now, I think plan A is.
If I'm Marner, I'm not going there. They're too far away from the cup. They're too far away. Marner wants a cup. Marner's going to somebody that's cup ready, not somebody rebuilding. I'm sorry. Even if they throw a buttload of money at him.
I mean, he's going to get $15 million a year from Chicago. Maybe $16 million.
I think they're too far away. I think for Marner, they're too far away.
I mean, they have a lot of young guys.
They do, but it's not like
with a ton of talent.
They're not challenged. I think Marner wants to go play for a team that's challenging for a cup right now, and you're 3 years away from challenging for a cup, even with him.
Right. I mean, but with the right acquisitions, you could be right there. If your young talent all pans out.
Snugard just took a good hit. I mean, I'll tell you what, Winnipeg's playing St. Louis's game today. And so far they're winning it. Oh, Thomas. Oh, just missed. Oh, now why is that not a trip? Yep. I didn't see the arm go up on the other ref, but the far ref called it. That was an absolute trip.
So, here you go. 8 shots to 7, 1-0, a minute and 54 to go. Hey, it could all be tied up.
Yeah.
Go to the second right here on this power play.
Good hit on Snugard. Oh, yeah. He got up shaky there. Oh, absolutely. He chipped. I called that when I saw it.
Yeah, you did. And, that one could get the spotter to maybe take a look at him because he looked a little shaky getting up there.
Yeah, I seen that with Snuggerud.
Yep.
Snuggy. Here we go. Big power play opportunity.
Oh,
nice set.
Listen, Shen hits everything that he sees.
Good setup on this. Oh, Snuggy! Or no, Neighbors. Come on, Nate. You got to bury that.
Yeah, but that was pushed away by the defenseman just in time. Half a second there. If Stanley doesn't play, it's 1-1.
Another one. And they cleared it.
And Hellebuck's definitely playing much better than he did on Saturday night. There is no question. When he's making saves like that,
it's going to be junk goals. It's going to be junk goals. It's going to be backdoor feeds. It's going to be the things that the goalies have no chance with.
That have no chance, right? Wow, that was nice. Hey, No matter what anybody says now about Snuggerud being on the top line, guess what? It paid off already with putting the biscuit in the basket.
Wow, what a shot.
Man, he rifled that one. Watch the net. Whoop! Whoop!
Look where he went. Top corner.
Blocker side. And just like that, we go to the second, all tied up at 1.
Wow, what a period.
That was a good period. That was a great period of hockey.
Yeah. 1.7 seconds left on the clock.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. What a good
still
period.
up 1-0.
Wow. Hits. There were 28 hits in that period. At least now they usually up it a little bit. 28 hits.
You got to figure there's going to be close to 100 hits again in the game. Then
14 apiece.
Wow.
Shots were 10-8. The Blues had 21 attempts. Winnipeg had 16. Winnipeg gave it away 8 times. St. Louis gave it away 6. Winnipeg had 1 takeaway to St. Louis's none. Winnipeg blocked 5 shots. St. Louis blocked 2. Face-offs. This is important.
Let's hear this
8-5, 62% to 38% in favor of the Blues. If they keep winning the face-offs.
Anytime you can control the puck off of a face-off is fantastic.
Right? Kyrie's not down. Kyrie's fine. Kyrie had a good couple of good shots or good attempts on that. Kyrie in that period. Kyrie 6 shifts, 5:38 on ice, had 1 shot, 4 attempts.
Guy, I'll be right back.
Okay, no problem, man. He had 1 shot, 4 attempts. It was a great period. Great period, man. Crazy bounce versus clean beat, and Snoogie has 2 tonight. I hope he does. And you're right. We talked about that. That was a crazy bounce on Scheifele's goal. I thought it could have been. I thought you could have looked at that for goaltender interference originally, but when it comes back now, it's not. You're going to lose that challenge. Probably 8 out of 10 times you're going to lose that challenge because you never know, and you don't want to put him back on the power play. So I'm okay with not challenging there. But then the Blues get DeMello cross checks or trips Bushnevich, and from that point, Snoogie with his first ever playoff goal, his second goal in the NHL, and we're tied at 1. And this is the game that we thought it was going to be. Right now, I gotta say this real quick. A big shout out here to Wayne. When this series went down, Wayne sent me a message and said, "Hey, guy, I'm from Winnipeg. It's my other team. If you want me to come on the show, I want to come on. I want to do this with you. If my work schedule will allow it, can I come on?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I want to thank you for coming on, Wayne.
Listen, I love doing the show with you whenever I got time. It's great.
Yeah,
just because I'm a sports junkie, and when it comes to it, hockey is number 1.
Yeah. And that's right. What Kyrie took a big hit. He just got the wind knocked out of him. He's fine. He had some good play on that power play. The Blues are moving the puck. It kind of feels like the team's flipped the script a little bit.
It does.
Winnipeg is playing St. Louis's game, and St. Louis is playing Winnipeg's game, and neither one of them's winning at it yet.
Right.
Hey, am I right? Does it feel like that?
Listen, that was a great period of hockey. That is
right?
Playoff hockey at its best right there.
I absolutely agree, man. That's what you hope for. That's what you want to see. Just really, really good.
And I know you're a big Blues fan. You know I'm a Hawks fan, and I'm a Jets fan just because that's where I was born. But I'll tell you, nobody can be mad at that period of hockey because they both,
Nope.
like you said, hits were almost even, shots are almost even, penalties almost even. But the Blues, was that a power play goal or was it right after?
Power play. No, it was still in the power play.
Okay,
Because it would have carried over. The power play would have carried over.
So they lead in the power play,
Yeah.
section.
So
But,
offense, I'd say they're even.
Yeah.
Defense, even.
Goaltending.
Penalty kill, I give a slight edge to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Power play, slight edge to St. Louis.
Sure, because they got the goal in the power play.
And goaltending, you're not going to like this, but I give the edge to Bennington. And I'm giving, and the reason I'm giving that to Bennington is the goal against him was a bad bounce, a deflection off a skate after a block shot. That happened. Holobuck got beat.
Oh, I'm not. Listen, there's no question. I'm not going to sit here and defend the guy, but I will
Right.
say this: that defenseman in front could have been. That might have been a partial, bit of a screen. And look at that shot. Snuggerud let that just rip. The twine in the back of the net. Did you see it? It just boinged.
Oh yeah, that straight up. Any harder, and he's ripping twine. Any harder, and he's ripping twine. I agree with you.
Yeah. So I don't look at it like that's a bad goal.
Shots are 10-8. The shots have been updated to 10-8. I think that's what I said earlier. Yeah. So I mean, they're basically even. St. Louis has 2 penalties to 1. They've killed both of the power plays. Winnipeg's penalty kill has been bad.
But I will agree with you. You have to give the edge to the Blues because they are the away team, and it's tied.
Yep.
It's not like Winnipeg ran all over them.
No.
In Winnipeg, they've kept the crowd out of the game for the most part, other than a couple big hits and the goal.
Yeah, right. And a goal like that, a goal at the end of a period, demoralizes any team, including big, good teams. It's a demoralizing goal, and
it sure can. Hey, it can turn the game around.
It's got to be a 2-goal lead with under 20 seconds left. Shockey, I absolutely agree with you on that one, bud. No, it was a solid period of hockey all the way around.
Yep.
I can't complain about this hockey. I can't complain about what we saw. The strength. I mean, if you go down this game, first period, 5 areas of hockey, right, that I've talked about.
Yep.
And so when I did my preview show, I discussed the 5 areas of hockey, and then I think I did it with Wendy. I did the 5 areas of hockey. I did coaching, and then I had the X factors. Right? Biggest X factor was Hellebuyck. Right? Coaching, I gave the edge to St. Louis. I think they're both great coaches, but Montgomery understands this stuff. The knock on him is, getting the team deep in the playoffs. Right? But for this series, I gave him the edge. But when you went down the 5 areas of hockey, and now if you go, you can take the whole season into effect. But to me, you're cutting out what happened. You cannot cut out what happened from the 4 nations on, where St. Louis was the best team in the league. Period. And I gave the edge to St. Louis in offense. I gave the edge to Winnipeg in defense. I gave the edge to St. Louis in power play. I gave the edge to penalty kill to St. Louis. I gave the edge in goaltending to Bennington. Not much, but I did. And
myself, I would have said they both played good period of hockey. Just it's 1-1. I don't think anybody.
I wasn't talking this game. I'm talking pre-series.
Oh, okay, yes, I got you.
Right?
Yep.
And for me, everything comes out in this game. You look at Winnipeg being the best team, but St. Louis, they're not 20 points worse. That's the difference. They're 4 points worse.
Let's just say this.
Yeah.
The way the Jets started the season, what was it, 13 in a row, 14
Yeah.
out of 15? That's where they got their lead on St. Louis. Let's just say they didn't get that. Where do they finish then? But,
Yeah.
they did get it, and they come out the gate.
What happens if the Blues don't lay eggs at the beginning of the season? Right? What happens if they play to their potential?
What if they have Montgomery for the whole season?
They have Montgomery for the whole season. They're challenging Winnipeg for the number one.
It's quite possible that, Winnipeg doesn't come out the gate the way they do. Hey, listen, 3 games either way, that's the 12-point spread.
Yeah.
Yep. And next thing you know, it's right there. Maybe instead of battling Dallas for the division lead late into the season, they're battling St. Louis. And going forward, I said this in the first period, going forward, the Blues are going to be that team, I think, that's going to be on top, and these other teams are going to be battling together.
I get chastised so much for my view on hockey because I don't think hockey is a defensive game in any way, shape, or form. And so many people think that hockey is all about defense, and it's not.
There's moments.
It's more about offense than people give it credit for or than people think. And the most important thing in hockey is puck control.
And goaltending.
Puck control. It's puck control. Even over goaltending, it's puck control. Because if you control the puck,
if you control the puck, the other team can't score.
You win.
Right? The other team can't score if you have the puck.
Exactly. And I have said for a long period, the Blues' problem was not defense. It was not having an offense. It was not being offensively aggressive. Because when you're offensively aggressive, you're controlling the puck. You're controlling the neutral zone. Right. You're preventing that opening, because 80% of your goals come through the neutral zone. I've had a bunch of former players agree with me on that point. Absolutely agree with me on that point. Even enforcers, and I had Grant Fuhr agree with me on that point. Go ahead.
Do you remember Claude Lapointe?
Yeah.
Played for the Islanders, played for a few other teams. One of my best friends, that's his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I've spoken to Claude Lapointe numerous times. And here's a guy who was a mucker. He wasn't a 50-goal scorer. He wasn't even a 25-goal scorer. But he'd go in the corners and do all the dirty work. He'd fight anybody that wanted to drop the gloves. I've spoken to him so many times, and, he's just the nicest guy in the world. I mean, some of these guys, the game of hockey, it's their life. From the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep.
Yep. Oh, no, I know that for a fact.
Growing up in Winnipeg, Ed Belfour, he grew up in Carmen. I played against Ed Belfour all the time. Because I played for the St. James Canucks. And that was a Winnipeg team, and he played, on the outskirts of town. We all knew he was a little crazy then, but he went on to have like a great career. He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, the guy's good. When you're that good.
Hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're muted. You okay over there, guy?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm still getting double. Okay.
I can hear you.
Here we go. I'm going to show this.
Okay.
Ability to shoot. Look at that placement, and they go upstairs. We talked about it on draft day, Bucci, about his ability to shoot. Look at that placement.
That's a rifle. I see Pionk there. Pionk, that is a partial screen, so I don't blame that on Hellbuck.
That was just a dart.
I'd like to know how fast that wrister was moving.
I don't know, but I'm with you.
Because
I'd like to
that
know
net
too.
boinged out the backside. Oh, pretty darn good.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the. I don't know if you were hearing me doubled over or were you hearing me just singled.
No, I could hear you perfectly.
Okay, no, I was
For a minute,
doubling
I
my
couldn't hear
ears
it at all, but you know,
because I to put that up, I had to bring a different studio on,
understood.
and let me do something here real quick so I don't have to do that again. There we go.
Let me
that
ask you this, since we're in the intermission right now, Guy.
Say again.
Since we're in intermission,
Yeah.
and we pretty much talked about all the stats in that first
Yep.
period. Here's an intriguing matchup in the first round. I'd like to know who you like in it, and that is the Edmonton LA series.
Man, that's a see. I haven't picked my so I have a bracket challenge out, and we'll put it up in the second intermission.
Right.
That's what the password down below here is.
Okay.
That's for my bracket challenge, right?
Okay.
And I haven't picked. That's one of the matchups that I need to see this game one before I pick that matchup.
Oh,
right?
see, I do a little thing every year. I've been doing it 24 years now. It's called the Harder Cup.
Yeah.
And I try to get 16 players since that's how many teams are in.
Yeah.
Keep it friendly. It's 25 ahead.
Yeah.
Right? Winner takes all. And you pick every matchup of every round. And if you pick the correct team, it's 1 point.
Yep.
And if you pick it directly on the nose in how many games, you get 2 points.
Yeah.
And it goes up each round. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. Also, at the beginning of the tournament, before it ever starts, you get one team. If that team makes it to the Stanley Cup final, you get an additional 2 points added to your score at the end. And if you hit the Stanley Cup winner, instead of 2, you get 3. And it makes it for a fun couple months.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I like doing the bracket challenge out of the NHL.
Yeah.
Right? Easy way to do it. Here it is. Bernie brought up that Hellebuck is deep in his net and Benny is at the top of the crease. And that's kind of why that goal went in, because it was the crease.
I've noticed
but I don't have a problem with Benny. So how is that being brought up? Is it positive or a negative? I think Bennington being at the top of the crease is the positive.
Oh, no question. Come on, he's challenging every shooter.
Yeah.
Challenge the shooters. Cut down the angle. That's what it's all about.
Right.
When you're back in the net, hey, that net's a whole lot bigger for them shooters than when you're on the top of the crease.
Yeah, I'm great period of hockey, man. I don't know what else to say other than great period of hockey. The Caps are up 2-0 on the Montreal Canadiens with 7:51 to go in the second.
Yep,
Ovechkin got the first goal, a beautiful power play from his spot.
What a blast it was.
Right, and then Bolivar gets the second one at the 12:09 mark of the second period to make that 2-0. I think Montreal only wins one game in that series. I think that they are outmatched, right? And I also feel like they backed into the playoffs. I don't feel like I know they had a good, but towards the end, they felt like they backed in.
You know, they are outmatched, but here's the thing. Where I gave them a shot, by no means do I think they win the series.
Yeah.
But I gave them a little shot because for 2.5 months, Washington didn't have no big games to play for. And then number 2, the whole team was living in Ovi's world.
You're still living in Ovi's world.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. The whole team was entrenched in getting that record.
Well, here we go. Puck drop.
Yep.
At center ice.
But at the end of the day, even with that goal tonight, he's still 48 goals away from the great one's overall record if you want to take regular season and playoffs.
Yep.
But here we are, second period starting.
My number for him, number that I thought that he needed to get to kind of solidify it, was 950.
950?
If he gets to 950, to me, that's at that point that takes the It takes some of the conversation out.
Is it unfathomable to think that he could get 1,000 regular season?
Yeah, he's not playing 4 years.
I think he could get it in 3 if he keeps going the way he is, right?
Yeah, maybe, but I don't think so.
But right, when you hit 40, it's pretty,
At some
not
point,
everybody's Tom Brady.
At some point he's going to, and you got to remember, a lot of Gretzky's goals don't get counted. He played in the WHL for a year or 2 years.
1 year in the WHL. Yeah. World Hockey Association before the merger. He played there as a 17-year-old kid. Undrafted. Unbelievable.
Well, that's because he
signed the personal services contract with Scalvania.
Yeah. So it made him undraftable.
Made him undraftable, but still.
Oh, nice shot there. Kai with a nice blast.
Yeah, see, he's only halfway out to the top of the crease still, Hellebuck. On those first 2 shots.
This period is so important.
Oh, no question about it. Like, it could be huge because if Winnipeg can go up 2-0, you almost got to think they probably win 1 in St. Louis, and then it's a 5-game series.
I do, but I don't see them. I don't see them going up 3-1 at any point. I really don't. I see it coming back 2-2, and then whoever wins Game 5 winning Game 6 almost.
Right. If they go 1-1 to St. Louis, it's 6 games all day minimum.
The 1 goal for St. Louis was by Jimmy Snuggerud, his first ever playoff goal. It was an absolute dart. I showed it earlier. I can't show it again. I will get blacklisted. No, I don't think I will, but. I got asked who my MVP. I did another show with some other guys, and they asked who my MVP was, and I'm going with Walker. I think Nathan Walker is the MVP because you go back about 3 weeks before they go on this run. There was a game Walker sat out. He was a healthy scratch, and you could absolutely tell the difference in the play of the team. Right. He comes back the next game, and the attitude is so different. He brings that attitude, and every player on that team feeds off it. And that, to me, that helps make an MVP, right? You don't have to be the guy that scores the most goals. You have to be the guy that means the most to your team. And if everybody is feeding off of you, you're that guy, right?
Well, you got to have the mix. You can't just have a team full of superstars. You got to have guys that are doing everything in every facet of the game. Guys that are going in the corners, defensive guys, offensive guys. You know, I mean,
I said this. He reminds me of David Eckstein, right? And I called Eckstein when he played for the Cardinals the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Right. Just keeping the puck in. The way they've changed the forecheck from behind the red line to between the circles and the blue line. That's just so good. You might be able to, Bud, but hey, man, I'm asking you again. Please keep your comments to the game at hand because it's just too much going on for me to try and focus on what you're doing and the game at the same time. So please keep your comments to the game at hand and what we're talking about, please.
And St. Louis is coming out in this period, and they look alive.
Yeah, they do.
They look alive right now.
12-9, so I don't think Winnipeg's gotten 1 shot this period. Where St. Louis has 2.
Yeah, but most of the plays the Winnipeg so far.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
That's gotta be a penalty though. That might be a penalty shot.
That's not a penalty shot.
I don't think it is, but some of these guys call those.
That's not even a penalty.
Shots.
It's not even a penalty.
That's got to be a penalty. At least Bennington got right up.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Oh, no, that was an absolute shoulder check. There's nothing. There's no penalty on that. I just hope Bennington's okay. No, that was a shoulder check. There's nothing illegal about that. How do you call that illegal, Wayne?
Well, it looks like, watch. Right there, he's in his back.
He hits him, it's shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, I don't think anything gets called. Too many to discuss in that, but I don't. That's not something for this show.
Okay, they're going to let him play. I like it.
Yeah, no, there was no penalty there. I didn't see it.
I wouldn't have had an issue if it was a penalty or they didn't call it a penalty. Let him play then. Hell yeah.
I'm going ham. I don't know what that means. That's 2 hits on Bennington in 2 games. Yeah, teams go after him. Oh, nice shot by Kyrou.
But he missed the net.
Slowed this game down a little bit. That play slowed this game down a little bit. And that's good to see that sometime.
So hits 18 to 20, 20 to 18.
Yeah.
Tonight so far. But look at that. Game 1, 53 to 33. Game 1 in hits. Like that's why I say St. Louis. Look at they're right in this series, no question. They're on the road, out hitting the number 1 team in the NHL.
Yeah.
In Game 1, and it's right, just like that tonight. Even Steven.
Yeah.
I mean,
this was going to be a physical series, no matter what. I mean.
And here's the other thing. You got to remember this. Winnipeg doesn't have Velarde, their number 1 winger, on the top line. And they don't have Nikolai Ehlers, their number 2 winger, on the second line. They're both out week to week right now.
So I will say this. My favorite all-time player is Brett Hull. Second favorite is Tarasenko. And on the team right now, you can't see it, but
Jordan.
Right. This will be the best series of the first round. I
truthfully believe that. No question. Like, look at them. They are just battling.
Yeah.
The stick checks, the regular just body checks. I mean, we're up and down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know. I haven't heard any. I know he didn't travel with the team, so I don't think he's in the first round at all. I like that Wayne Gretzky played for the Blues, but it's hard for me to think of him as a Blues player. He was with us for half a season, for like 20 games.
Yeah, right. He wasn't waiting. Oh, nice save by Bennington there.
Yeah. Numbers through the. Oh, big save.
Yeah, you're a little ahead of me. Oh my gosh, that was a beautiful.
And that's from him. That's from him playing out. Right.
I'll tell you. Anybody who wants to say Bennington is not in the top 5 goaltenders in the NHL, listen, man. The guy has been a money goaltender for Canada, for the Blues. I mean, and he's got the hardware to prove it.
Yeah.
Everybody used to say, Oh, Ken Dryden. Oh, look at the team you had in front of you. Okay. But he made the save when he had to make the save.
Dave. Bennington, and I say this all the time, Bennington makes the saves that you're not supposed to make. And he's very good at that. And that's what a goalie has to be.
He's a loose cannon sometimes, but hey, he's a fiery player. And you
Need to do something about their rushes. I'm kind of I see that, Chris.
Jesus.
They are getting some rushes. They've had a couple of rushes here this period.
Couple 3-on-2s.
Yeah. I mean, we've negated them, had somebody get back, but they're still getting that rush. And that rush is what not had Bennington get knocked. I got it, Winnipeg Jets fan. I got to back off a little bit, okay, bud? I got to concentrate on everybody else, my friend. One comment, and just leave it at that. I'm not always going to mention them, okay, buddy? Like I said, please stick to the game. Oh.
That Thomas got speed.
Yeah. Thomas is a 100-point player. Oh, Thomas got nailed. Snuggerud hit somebody. Oh, they're all hitting.
Ho, ho, ho! Stanley with a big chopper.
This is family hitting.
I love this game. This is a good hockey game. I mean, it's end to end, up and down, back and forth.
Shots are now evened up, 13 apiece. So 5-3 this period for the Winnipeg Jets.
And you know what? I hope they do get rid of that rule, that trapezoid rule, and let them play the puck wherever they want.
Pronger had the best, or Panger had the best idea for this. It's not a bad idea. What they need to do is reverse it.
What do you mean?
The area behind the trapezoid is where you can't touch it. The other areas now where you can't touch it is where you can touch it.
Yeah, like international play, they can play it wherever they want.
Yeah, I like that it limits where they can touch it. I do like that. But I do think that if you take away, first of all, taking away the goalie going back there and stopping the puck helps the offense, not the and I think that's, if you're just going to throw the puck back there, yeah, let the goalie go back there and get it. I don't have a problem with that, right?
Yeah.
And I do like that they limit where he can. But the one goalie change that I want other than goaltender interference is I'd like to see the blue paint get extended back like it used to be, not cut off where it is. Used to be a full semicircle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
When it first came in, and any puck that goes through the blue paint negates an icing.
Yeah.
Right? If that puck goes through the blue paint, that negates the icing.
Right.
Right? And I think that would absolutely change a lot. And then what it would do is, instead of a goaltender just letting the puck go right on by him, he'd have to play it.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at these guys are so good now. They could hit that blue,
Oh, I know.
Send it out.
And force the goalie to play it.
Yeah.
Force the goalie to play it. Force the goalie to get in there. I would love to see it.
Because these goalies now, they could play the puck so good.
They're showing how the Blues are
they're
firing the
taking
high
everything
corner.
upstairs.
That was just a dart. That was just an amazing shot from Snuggerud.
Yeah, they're taking everything upstairs on Hellebuck.
Game is tied 1-1.
Like
Game is tied 1-1 with 10:37 to go in the second period.
4 goals against on shots to the top of the net.
Yep.
So they've scored every one of their goals in this series upstairs.
Nothing's been junk. Nothing's been junk.
No.
Oh, St. Louis to the power play.
Right.
Maintain that puck. Get some time. Get some power play time. Get some 6-on-5 time.
Yep. Break
Set it up.
There you go.
Set it up.
They're looking for a lane, but they're out. All your top guys are out on the ice right now. You don't want to tire them out too bad.
Blues going to the power play. The BlueNote fan report. Power play.
Brought to
They're
you
all
by
holding sticks, ref. They're all holding sticks, ref. They're the Blues announcer Chris Kerber said he was announcing the game once, and hey Magungo, he said that the referee calls that penalty holding the stick, and some lady right below him goes, "But they're all holding sticks, ref," and that just stuck with me. So now every time I hear a holding the stick penalty, I got to throw that out there. Right?
Well, who was it? Wes McCauley?
No,
everybody on the
it
ice gets a 10
it was in the last couple of years. It was in the last couple of years. So it was just, some fan calling it out, and it was just really cool. Good. I mean, it's been a great game so far, man. You cannot.
Fantastic game.
This is what playoff hockey should be, right?
Yeah, and that's why
we're halfway through the game. Shots are 13 apiece. Hits. This number is hits are 21-23 with a slight favor to Winnipeg.
It's unbelievable.
Been good, my friend. Been good. The style of play that we're seeing is amazing. Everything that we Hefner says he remembers that call. A couple of years ago. It wasn't that long ago. A couple of years ago. Might have been like 18 or 19. Absolutely holding the stick. How can you see? That's
come on. He's trying to say he didn't hold the stick.
Yeah, how can you be upset at
Listen,
that? This is the one thing. This is
I like
the one
the Jets,
thing for
but
me.
that's a penalty. That's a penalty all day.
All
took
day
it
long.
right out of his hand.
This is the one thing on hooking calls. If the guy's arm is down, they should start calling embellishment on that. If the guy grips the stick to get a hooking call, start calling embellishment on that. Stop that crap. Because that's what he was doing. He was trying to get a hooking call, and it went the other way.
It went the other way. Well, I mean, come on. He took the stick right out of his hand. I mean,
yeah.
When that happens, that penalty's getting called 9 out of 10 times.
Absolutely it is.
And, whether you like it or not, no matter what team you're going for, that's a penalty.
Yeah. Power play is not set up yet well. Okay, here we go. Looks like we finally got set up.
Out to the line. Okay, they got a little.
Didn't get a good handle on that. He had a wide open net. Wide open net. Oh, Vishnevich had a wide open net.
40 seconds left.
Oh, nice move, Shin. Good clear.
Look at both. This game is so close right now.
This game is dead even,
And
right?
you know how even it is because you could see in the stands, they ain't a soul on their feet, and
Yeah.
it's really quiet.
Yeah.
And you know they've got the smallest building
They
in the
killed the
league.
power play. They killed the power play.
Yep,
Killed
they've
the
got the
penalty.
smallest building in the league, guy. And
Yeah.
there's plenty of players and executives that say it is like one of the loudest buildings to go play in when they really, are on fire.
Yeah. They've got to figure out whatever their issue is. I mean, because they're not filling. They got the smallest building and they're not filling it, right? And that's a
Well,
huge issue.
let me tell you, like I said, I got Ken that lives up there still. Again, what I was saying was Winnipeg's it's a blue collar town.
Yeah.
The tickets are just like everywhere else you go in the NHL are ridiculously crazy high priced, and so that's part of your problem up there.
And that's something they need to work on. You gotta lower your tickets if you're only filling the building that much. You got to lower your tickets to get the full building.
You would think, or they've got to work on like some more of the corporate, to where they're buying the tickets up. I do know this: the Winnipeg Jets owner is one of the richest guys in all of Canada.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're hurting for money. So you got, like you say, you got to do something, to fill the building every single day.
That Winnipeg Jets should. I mean, you won the President's Trophy, most wins, and you're still. We're only like what 80% filling your building.
Well, here's the problem: when the big teams come in, it fills right up.
Yeah.
But when the shithole teams come in, like San Jose, call a spade, Chicago, these teams that are bottom feeders, they don't fill it because they know.
Yeah. And actually, those are the ones that should fill it.
Well, that's where you really need to drop the ticket prices so you can fill it.
Oh, man, there's a goal coming. If the Blues don't figure this out, there we go. Yeah. 4:56, 5 minutes to go in the second.
5 minutes to go.
Still 1-1. Shots are 16-14 in favor of Winnipeg. Winnipeg just had a little rush there.
This game's going down to the last 4 minutes of the third period again tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been well played game on both sides.
Oh my goodness, it's
right. This has been the best game of the playoffs so far.
Look, if this game doesn't have you on the edge of your seat, I don't really think you know hockey that well. Because it's got everything going.
Oh, I don't know who that was that went to the bench right there, but that was you gotta pay attention to what's going on. Oh, you just gave away. Oh man, that could have been huge.
Oh, he could have been off to the races there.
Oh, absolutely. A breakaway could have changed this game. Hell, a bad change cost Boston Bruins the Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup, remember that?
Yeah, Brad Marchand going to the bench and Petrangelo getting the Stanley Cup winning goal.
Oh yeah, you're going back on the power play. Stanley's going to the box on that one.
Oh, it was Bushnevich. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bush didn't see that. Absolutely. The physical. It's Blues are playing disciplined hockey. Wayne, you have to say that. The Blues have played very disciplined hockey.
There's no question. Both teams, I think, are playing, Now, if anybody's playing a little undisciplined, that's what, the third penalty for the Jets now?
Yeah.
Is that the second or third penalty in this period? In this period.
Third penalty.
Third.
Stanley, that's the third penalty.
Okay,
Second in this period, third overall.
Okay. I thought it was the third in this period.
No, the first one came, the first penalty from the Jets came right at the end of the
first period,
yeah.
Right. And they scored on that one.
Yep.
And, hey, here's another one. What about the Leafs? I did not see a 6-2 win coming yesterday.
Say again?
I did not see a 6-2 win by the Leafs coming yesterday.
Oh, no.
I thought that was going to be tight and close because Ottawa that was the first time Ottawa lost to them all year.
I think it will be tighter going down. I think that was just an emotion game.
Right. And another Tampa, Florida. Wow, that's going to be a good series.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's why I advocate for this system, because you have the Oilers and Kings are going after each for the fourth straight year. This is how rivalries are made. The Battle of Florida for the second or third year, second or third time in a row.
Third year in a
right?
row, I think.
That, Toronto and Boston going after each other, Boston being out this year.
Right.
Oh, Bolduc almost popped one there.
Yeah. Nice.
Right?
That was a nice play. The graphic at the beginning of the playoffs, all 6 original American teams, or all 4 of the original 6 American teams out of the playoffs all at the same time this year. First time ever in NHL history.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Probably been forever since that happened.
Well, it was the first time ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All 4 American teams from the original 6, all not making the playoffs in the same year. Yeah. First time ever in the NHL.
Wow.
Yeah. I was quite like, wow, okay. I would have thought that would have happened at least once or 2 times.
Hey, Wayne, question for you. Do you listen to XM satellite radio at all?
I listen to nothing but satellite radio. I don't.
Do you listen to the NHL channel 91?
I do. I listen to that, and I listen to Adam Shine.
Okay. Do you listen to Mick Kern?
Nick Kern? No, I don't.
No, he's got a morning show, 6 a.m.
Okay.
Or 11 a.m. 11 to 1. He's got a late morning, early afternoon. I think 11 to 1.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the show's called here in a second. Under Review.
Under Review. I've heard of it, but I've never listened to it.
Well, you might want to listen to it this week.
But yeah, okay. What, on 91?
Yep. And I'll let you know when to listen to it.
I you were talking about the other day?
I'm going to be on. They've called me and they want me to be on the show.
Okay. Well, I know
that's the secret. That's the thing I've been hiding.
Look, I know you'd mentioned something to me, and it wasn't my place to say anything. And I'm glad you brought it up.
I don't remember if I told you or not.
And I'm happy you're getting that opportunity.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah, my sports radio starts. I listen to NHL radio. I listen to a little bit of Shine in the morning. I like Pat McAfee.
This this season when I drove from St. Louis to Denver,
Right.
I went ahead and listened to. It was the day before all 60 Super Day. You know, when all the teams were playing. It was the day before that, and I listened to NHL radio the entire time that I made the drive, and that was because I thought I had to pay for XM satellite radio in the rental car, but when I found out I didn't, I was like, okay,
No.
I'm gonna listen to it, right?
Right. Yeah, I pay for my satellite radio. I have not listened to terrestrial radio and ever got to be 12
I don't.
minimum.
I actually, for my driving, I pay for a YouTube subscription so I can pick a YouTube song and just and then from there it just plays a mix based on the song.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I can listen to that for 10, 11 hours. What a good second period. What a solid game of hockey so far.
Yeah, great game.
And now,
I mean, and listen, yes, it's early in the playoffs, but this has been the best game so far.
Yeah.
No question. And game one was no slouch.
Nope. So here we go at the end of 2. Shots that period were 7 apiece, so they are 17-15 in favor of St. Louis. There were no goals. And there were a couple of penalties. Scheifele took a holding the stick. Yes, they're all holding sticks, but he held an extra one. And then Stanley took the cross-checking. They gave him the first cross-check. They gave him the second. They didn't give him the third.
Now, Guy,
Right.
I can interrupt you for 1 second.
Yeah.
What day is it again? You're going on the radio?
I don't know yet.
Okay, you don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm hoping to find that out tomorrow.
Well, you got to get that out to the listeners so everybody can take a. So
As
everybody,
soon as I know for sure, as soon as I know for sure, I will let everybody know.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to tell people because I wasn't like I was only about 20% when I told you about it. I was only like 20% sure it was going to happen.
Right.
But now after a message I got today, I'm closer to like 60% sure it's going to happen. So I'll put it out and hopefully I'll find out something more tomorrow and can go from there. And
listen, I'm happy for you. That's great that you're getting the opportunity. You know, I mean,
yeah, I'm hoping
anytime
I
you recognize.
I'm hoping I do good and it's not a one-time thing. You know,
Right.
I'm hoping I can do it good and that people enjoy listening to it and it's not a one-time thing. They reached out to me. That was the thing. They reached out to me. I didn't reach out to them. So that like adds to me. That makes it, just more. Wasn't me searching. It was someone in.
Being recognized.
Yeah.
For what you're doing.
What it came down to is Jim Thomas had put out something about the Blues and their playoff, how well they've done in the playoffs, their playoff percentage. And basically I said, I talked about that last week on my show and they went back and looked and yeah, I was ahead of everybody on that I had brought up that in the history of the NHL, the Blues are the only team that the most years they've ever missed is 3.
Oh yeah. I remember that show.
Right. That the most years they've ever missed is 3. And that out of 55 years, 56 years, they've only missed the playoffs 11 times. Right. The only team that has a better playoff percentage is,
probably Vegas.
the Knights. And that's got, a little bit of thing on there, right? So that's got a little bit of an asterisk to it.
Now, since we're in the intermission here, to get
Yes,
off
sir.
the Blues just for 1 second, the Kraken, they fired Bilesma after 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. Do you?
That's the Rangers coach being available.
I tell you, Laviolette's got more lives than a cat.
Yeah, that's Laviolette being available. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Right.
Right.
And Chris,
do you think the calls have been lopsided? I don't think they have. I thought they've called the game pretty tight.
well, but he's where I think Chris is going with that comment.
Yeah.
Is they've given the Blues, 2 or 3 calls in a row now. So you got to figure they're going to, it always evens out somehow.
It is 1-1 at the end of 2. Let's go over the stats. The Blues, the St. Louis Blues, have 38 attempts. The Winnipeg Jets have 31 attempts. Hits are 29-23 in favor of the Jets. Jets are out hitting the Blues slightly. Blues have 16 giveaways. The Jets have 10. Each team has 2 takeaways. The Jets have blocked 8 shots, whereas the Blues have blocked 4. And the face-off, which there haven't been a lot of, are 13-10, 57% to 43% in favor of St. Louis. No goals that period. 2 penalties. The first one coming at the 10:24 mark to Mark Safely, who decided that his stick wasn't enough and he needed Perico's. And then Logan Stanley got 1, got 2, but not the third cross-check as he's called for it at the 16:50 mark. Shots were even up that period, 7 apiece, 15. Both goaltenders have played well. We did this in the first period. We'll do it in the second. We'll go over the 5 areas of hockey. Who has the edge? Offense, who has the edge so far in this game? I'll let you go. I'll ask you, and then I'll answer Wayne.
I'm going to say it's even because it's a 1-1 game.
I'm giving it to St. Louis just a little bit because of the style of goal. Their goal was a dart.
Right.
The Winnipeg's goal was a lucky bounce. All right.
Okay.
So tad to St. Louis. Defense.
You know, again, it's a 1-1 game, so I gotta say it's even.
I'm with you. I would put defense even. Maybe give the Jets just a little bit because they've had a couple of those rushes in there. And defense creates those rushes, not offense. Defense creates those rushes. They've had the rushes. They've also out hit the Blues a little bit. So I'll give the slight edge on defense to Winnipeg. Because it's a 1-1 game and the way it went down, we'll just go special teams instead of splitting them apart. In special teams, who do you give the edge to?
Well, you know, listen, they have scored 1 power play goal, so you got to say St. Louis, even though they've had more chances, they have, you know, got their goal on the power play. So I'm going to give them a small edge.
I'm gonna even it up. The fact that they killed the last 2 and didn't really give St. Louis any great chances. Okay. I mean, I think St. Louis only had 2 shots in the last 2 power plays. So at that point, I'm gonna give the edge to Winnipeg. Now here's the big one: goaltending.
Okay. It is a tie game. They both played well, but Bennington's made a couple big saves. I right in tight, close, you know, with a little bit of, you know, frenzy in the net.
Yeah.
And he's made a couple, like that one save in the first period where he went complete splits.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's a goal. If he doesn't make, you know, obviously if he doesn't make the save, but that's a goal most of the time.
Yeah. No, he's making the save. Bennington is making the saves you're not supposed to. And the same reason that I gave a slight edge in the offense to St. Louis is the same reason I would give it to goaltending, the style of the goal, right? Snuggerud's goal was an absolute dart.
That was just a ripper.
Right.
Then I would go with this.
Coaching.
Blues are on the road.
Yeah.
Playing just the perfect road game. Perfect road game. Fairly disciplined, you know, for the most part. If anybody's starting to get undisciplined, could be the Jets. They're taking some penalties.
Yeah.
But now the third period, you know how it always works. The refs always even it out. So who knows what's going to happen?
So in out of town scoreboard, there are 4 games happening. 2 have yet to happen. 2 are going on now. The Washington Capitals with 15:20 to go in the third are up 2-0 on the Montreal Canadiens. Game that looked like it could get out of hand quick has tightened up.
Yeah, 26 shots to 23 in favor of Washington at this point.
Yeah. Starting after the Washington game, the Avalanche will play in Dallas for game 2, and then after our game, the Oilers will be in LA taking on the Kings.
And I'm looking forward to that series too, Guy.
Yeah.
I really am. This
I
is
want to
4
see the
years
Kings.
in a row.
I think I want the Kings to win that one, but I don't know where my heart is or my head is. Just seen another bowling ball on Bennington and make the save and put the blade out, slice them, and that
That's
was
all up.
right. Record for the Jets the last 2 years being tied going into the third might be in the Jets' head.
It could very well.
Could be. That's not
You're
a
right,
bad
Chris.
point, right? We'll see. Dallas really laid an egg in game one.
There's a team that just come in.
Well, they've got some injuries. They've got some pretty big injuries, but
Heiskanen's a huge loss for them. Seguin just coming back after missing the whole year. He's not in game shape.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Kitty! Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? 13 watching today. Numbers are getting better. I appreciate it. Big old thank you to Tad Dieterman, Gabe Overturf, Dave AC, John Hefner, Jason Nichols, JJ, JJ, Kyle Meaden, Aaron Nels. They gave me some love.
I hope my son and his boys are on the channel too. I told them we're on, guy.
Who is?
I hope my son and his boys are watching.
I hope so too, man. I hope so too.
I told them we're on.
Let's keep things going. Let's keep chatting. Keep the chat room going. And we go into the third. In the last game, the Blues went into a defensive posture, and it hurt them. They got away from their game. They got away from the offensive, aggressive, defensively responsible. They let Winnipeg play their game. So far, this game, Winnipeg is playing St. Louis's game. St. Louis is playing Winnipeg's game, and they're both doing very well at it. Right?
And look, when you are ahead in a game like that, that sometimes hurts you. I know it's always better to be in the lead than behind, but I don't think they do that tonight. This is a 1-1 game going to the third. I think we're going to see the best period in this game yet to come, to be quite honest with you.
I
love it.
I don't.
I want to see what the kids got.
Here's my problem with this, right? To me, in order to play in the playoffs, you should have played in at least 10% of the team's games or been on the roster, not the IR, but actually been on the 23-man roster for half of the season, right? When you bring a guy that's been, for the past 2 years, been on some type of IR, not on the roster at all, and then all of a sudden bring him back into the playoffs, I have an issue with that.
But the surgery he had, we all know it wasn't a bullshit, deal.
Yeah, but there's also there's some dependency issues here that come into this, right? Didn't he have some issues a couple of years ago where he wasn't that him that missed the series because of
no, that was Nichushkin.
Oh, okay.
That was Nichushkin, not Landeskog. Nichushkin went off. It was with the drinking and everything. Yeah. He's, that Nichushkin, as good as he is, he's left that Avalanche squad twice now.
Yeah.
And I mean, if anybody, I can't believe they're still behind him the way they are.
Schnuggy played 8 games. I think Schnuggy played 8 games. Right? I think Schnuggy played 8 games. I'd have to go back and look, but I think he got 8 games in. And I think you can make for a guy like that, for a guy, a guy signing late for a college, a draft pick, bringing a pick in like that, I don't have an issue with. I have an issue with a guy being on IR or something like that, and then coming back. Especially if a team is at the cap. Right? Especially if a team has cap issues. That's where I have the issue with it.
Right.
Right? It's not just Vegas. It's the Lightning do it too.
Well, the Lightning did it, a couple times. Vegas has done it a couple times.
Yeah. I mean, they're not doing anything wrong.
They're not doing anything wrong. So until they change the rule, we all just need to learn to live with it, because
it's
we're
the
not
same
going to
thing.
change it.
So in my fantasy league, and it's the same in my fantasy league.
Right.
I'm in a unique fantasy league. I'm in a keeper league
So
that
you're
has
a dynasty
32
league.
teams.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because of that, when the league's a few years, that's like 5 years old or 6 years old, something like that.
All right.
When the league first formed, a lot of guys left the league in the middle of it and just gave players away. So there are teams that have 3, 4, and 5 goalies, and other teams that have no goalie. Now, the teams that have these extra goals, they didn't do anything wrong. Well, they did, but they didn't. They took advantage of a situation that should have been stopped, but it wasn't. Right? When these deadbeat owners left the league, they shouldn't have been allowed to get rid of players. But they did nothing wrong. And that's the problem we have right now. There's teams that have no goalies that have no chance at winning, and they're just giving their money away every season.
See, they need to change that.
I think what they did do this year is last year, me and a couple other guys, not this season, the season before, figured out that quantity over quality, that by taking your low-end guys and switching them out every day, right, unlimited free agency, would help you compete with the teams that are getting 20 goals a week or something like that. Right. It helped you, and you could win categories that you couldn't otherwise win. Well, they went and changed that and limited that. And the reason being, other leagues don't allow it. Don't allow unlimited free agency. And my point was, but other teams don't allow more than 2 goalies.
More than 2 goalies, sure.
Right? Yeah. So you can't use, they use the excuse to help. When the excuse helps them, they used it. Look, it's something going on within my league. I'm fighting it. Nothing doesn't matter. But what it comes down to is they may not have done something illegal per the rules. It's like the NASCAR rule book, right? NASCAR rule book, the way those guys used to look at it. If it wasn't actually written in the rules, then you could do it.
Then you could do it.
Right? So, and it's the same way, but the eye test tells you it's not right. And that's where I get at it. For me, with Landeskog and with some of these other players, the eye test tells me it's not right.
Yeah,
a kid coming in from college is different to me.
I understand both sides of the coin. I will only say this. We know this guy was injured, and it wasn't no fake injury, or it wasn't like a half injury where he could have come back early.
Yeah.
And I understand, you got to wait till the college season's over to take a draft pick that you have to sign him to the entry-level deal. Right. So in the Landeskog case, I really am looking forward. I want to see if the kid's got anything left in the tank. Because the surgery he had, I don't think there's only been maybe one other player to come back and play from that same surgery on the knee. And it wasn't for very long, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to see what he can do. I'll tell you this, if he can contribute anything in the playoffs, that will be a huge, huge factor in them making a deep playoff run.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're hurt or not. However it is, here's the way you fix that rule. You know how you fix that rule? The salary cap still exists in the playoffs.
Well, but they can't do that because they don't get paid in playoffs.
It doesn't matter. They still have a number. The number still exists. The number is for the year. The number's still there. I disagree with that. I get they don't get paid, but their numbers still exist. Their number doesn't.
So if they're not getting paid, there's no number, is what I'm getting.
No, I disagree with that. That number still
I know what
exists.
you're saying, though, because the guy's still getting, let's say he's getting the $10 million or $6 million. You're
Right.
saying it should be just carried over, even though they're not getting paid, and
Yes,
you have to be within the confines of that number.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
yeah, right.
Right.
Just you got to remember this:
Yes.
when it comes to the CBA, the
Mhm.
players ain't going to go for it, so the owners ain't going to get it. You know, they
yeah.
both can. You know, they both give in to so much stuff. Otherwise,
Right.
you know.
Well, we're about to
and I don't
drop
think
the
that
puck
I
to
don't
the
think
third.
the owners want it.
I don't think the owners want it either, and I don't think the players want it, but
Right.
the fans do. And you got to remember, the fans are what drives the game. This is one of those things where the fans drive it. So we got the puck drop.
Puck drop.
Third
Yep.
period here.
I would. You know what? Oh, that defenseman is okay. Well, he's up. He's limping. Oh, that. I would love to take a poll though on that one and see exactly where that sat for all fans. You know,
Right.
league wide.
I'd say because I hear it on the show too. The majority of fans would want something like that.
Right.
If you can't get guys' blood pressure up, you're not doing your job. My blood pressure is just fine. Jet's temperature just fine. I bet nobody knows that reference. Nobody knows that reference. Jet's temperature just fine. See if somebody gets it. Oh, got that one out.
Jets working hard on the forecheck.
Yeah.
And got it.
Both teams are.
Yeah.
Ouch. Great play on Winnipeg.
Wow.
Great play. Nothing.
I'll tell you, this kid Connor. Yeah. I remember when they drafted Connor and they drafted Line A.
Yeah.
And it was the best move that team ever did when they traded away Line A and kept Connor. Yeah. Line A didn't want to be there. Connor loved it.
Oh, Bennington didn't have a chance. He looks like he should have caught it.
Look at bang, bang. That's just a bang, bang play.
Yeah, he didn't
boom,
have a chance.
Boom.
2-1 Winnipeg.
Okay, well.
Connor's a Blues killer. He's the guy that scores well against us.
When it's all said and done, Connor will be the Jets, playoff goal leader at the end of his career. Even though Scheifele does lead in that category right now. Oh, look out.
Well, now St. Louis has got to go to that offensive aggression, right? You've got plenty of time to do it. Let's do it. But yeah, there's no way.
They need to calm down
about it, but there's nothing he could do.
No.
Yeah. I agree. I said that. I just said that.
Yes, you did. Well, and the Blues cannot do what they did the other night in the third period, even though
got to get shots on net. Got to get some offense going.
This game is nowhere near over yet. Next
goal, wow,
the utmost importance.
Well, that was almost just tied up.
Did you see him put the glove behind his back?
Oh yeah, he thought it was in the net.
Whoa. But the Blues are buzzing. They're
Yeah. What are you talking about? This game's been called. This has been the best called game.
Oh yeah, they've let them
Yeah.
play.
All
They're
right.
letting the teams figure this out on the ice. That's got to
This
be
has been a very, very well called game.
yeah.
All right. Oh wow, that he barely gets that.
Look at that! Wow.
He sees it goes behind his back, and he just throws his glove back there to try and keep it out of the net. Oh man, that hits off his back just a centimeter more. It goes in the net.
Yeah, the next goal is of the utmost importance. If you're a Blues fan, you cannot let the Jets go up 3-1 on you.
No, I agree. It's been a well played hockey game all the way around.
Yeah, no question.
I'm not sure where you're going with that one, bud.
I wasn't either.
Oh,
I mean, were they a shitty team this year? Oh yeah.
You're talking about. I doubt it. I don't think they're going into a shell defense. Offside barely.
Boy, they just keep showing that goal.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing Bennett could do. I mean, it was a shot, but there was absolutely nothing he could do.
Look, the only way he's making that save
He
is if
hasn't
he's
given up a goal in this series that was on him yet.
Right. That's just a fluke goal. I mean, a fluke save if he makes it.
Yeah.
Because he just gets hit with the puck if that doesn't go in the net there. You know, he's made the saves that he's needed to make.
Absolutely,
you know, like that he was able to make. He has not let a shit goal in yet. And I'm quite surprised.
The puck cleared.
Because at 2-1, Winnipeg, look at the fans are really not that loud still right now.
No, they're not at all.
They're very quiet tonight. Usually that building is just nuts when they go
the
up.
Blues have done a great job at keeping the crowd out of the game.
Absolutely.
Because, I mean, they're up 2-1, and they're nervous that this is going to be a 2-2 game.
Well, hey, you're one shot away from a tie.
Yeah.
You know. See, I think that's what the Blues need right there. A guy like Morrissey. A quarterback that can do it on both sides, defense, offense. He can control the back end there. Uh-oh.
Wow, Bennington, big save there.
Nice save. Okay, here we go. A little extracurricular activity.
It's that same thing happened in the last game.
Yeah.
In the third.
Yep.
Right.
The two captains battling it out.
Hefner put a ticket in early, I think right at the Four Nations on the Blues to make the playoffs.
Right.
I think, and he ended up winning like $250 from it.
Nice.
He won. So yeah, he's been flouting that ticket on me. I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs. I didn't. I thought it was too little, too late. So, they're doing the hitting, my friend. They are doing the hitting.
Yeah,
But right now, they don't need to be hitting. They need to be skating and
causing havoc
controlling the puck.
in the offensive zone.
They're just.
I mean, they're passing the puck well.
Coming in the zone. Winnipeg has gone into a very good defensive posture. Good shot by Fowler. Hollebuck's able to make the save.
Yep. And he hangs on, no rebound. That's huge right there.
You got goalied. I don't know about him getting goalied. That was just luck. Atlanta beat St. Louis 6-7 in baseball.
What did you just say there?
The Atlanta Braves beat the St. Louis Cardinals 7-6.
They won a game. I cannot believe that they have come out and just stunk it up so far this year. What are they? I mean, they're after tonight. What the heck does that put them at?
I'd have to look it up.
9-13.
I think the Cardinals are sitting right around 500.
St. Louis, 9-14. But nobody expected them. Like, everybody was expecting Atlanta to have a bounce back year.
They're not even. I thought they were around 500. They're not even close. Wow.
Right. Yeah, 9-14. 9-14.
Yeah, they were leading that division for a while. Not anymore. The Canadians got on the board. It is 2-1. A goal from Cole Caulfield. A power play goal at the 10:32 mark. Cut that lead in half.
Marty St. Louis turned him around.
By Dubois.
5:20 to go in that third period. Wow. Boy, if somehow Montreal came back and took that game to overtime and win it.
Oh, yeah, that would be huge.
Oh, my goodness. Two on one. Nice play by the defenseman there. Gosh, Winnipeg is just smothering the Blues in this period on the offensive floor.
They're playing a solid defensive game right now.
And they're playing it in the Blues end of the rink.
Yeah.
Like they're getting all the pucks.
Yeah. For my Australian fan, let's keep all your comments to today's game, man. Please keep your comments just to today's game. We know you're a fan of a lot of teams and that it's too much for me to concentrate on. Please keep it to today's game, bud.
Bennington holding the Blues in this game. Another big save.
Shots are 21-20 in favor of the Jets. Two big saves right there.
I mean, come on. That's 2 point blankers right out and bang, bang. Nice saves.
Shots from the D to make them come out. Yeah, I'll agree with that, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They've doubled us up in shots this period, 6-3. Oh, good save by good save by Hullebuck on that shot there from Shin. Wayne had to step out for a minute. Everybody's doing just fine, man. Just listen to what I'm saying, bud. Roughing. Oh, we're going to the power play. Luke Shin with a roughing penalty at 8:01. Huge moment for the Blues. Yeah, grab the helmet. That's absolutely a penalty. What are you talking about? They're saying ref, you suck, but you have to make that call. Bolduc was just a little too covered there. Come on, leave him alone, bud. Oh, Snoogie! Oh, puck is loose and nobody had it. Oh, man. They're playing hard. Come on, Sonny. Let's get something going. Ah! Not a bad power play. Good tight hockey game. God, I want to split. I'd hate to go back 2-0, 2-0. Really need to split. Oh, tipped. They're pushing it. Blues are pushing it. They keep showing that dang goal. No. We've talked. See, Jeff, you're just now coming in. We have not been getting out hustled all game. Not even close. Not even close. Not even close. I disagree with that so bad. Wow, the Canadians tied it. Let's see if we can do it. I'm not still sure about that. I'll try and pay a little bit better attention to it. Are you there, Wayne? So Wayne's having some connection issues. He's trying to come back. Got a few moments. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I just had a black screen, so I thought maybe you backed out or something.
No, I just it just said that I was backstage or something and only you could see me. So you had to re-invite me, I guess. But yeah, and it was right about the time I said it's 2-2 Montreal.
Yeah.
I said I just said what would happen if we tied if they tied
And
it
they
up.
did. Now the
Wow.
Blues can only tie it. Oh, there was a bad. Oh, you
This
can't.
is going to be a frenzy. 8 minutes and 22 seconds here.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the Blues are pushing. Winnipeg's doing just enough. To hold them off so far. Wow.
Oh, they shouldn't have. That was too close. Oh, I don't like the icing sometimes.
Yeah, it's when they call the icing is when they're at the red dots. Who's ever in the lead usually at the red dot?
Yeah.
Mind you though, hey, it was that close.
Yeah.
And 9 out of 10 times they're going to call that icing because they don't want that slamming into the boards on the as they go down.
They've always had bad ice. They've always had bad ice in Winnipeg for some reason. They need a new building, and that's one of the problems up there.
Well, it's one of the newer buildings though.
Is it? Then why would you build it so small?
See, they used to play at the Winnipeg Arena.
Yeah.
And now this is like right downtown. Like it's smack dab downtown by Portage and Maine almost where they have it.
It's been a hell of a game. Someone said that the Blues were out hustled all night earlier. I
did see that when I was booted off. And you know what?
I don't agree with that.
I'm not really sure what game that he's watching.
Yeah.
Because just like the other night, the Blues are in this game.
Yeah.
Look, and I want to see Winnipeg win, but more than anything, I want to see a great hockey game.
Yeah.
And we've definitely.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Torp couldn't get it off. Oh.
And I noticed here in the third period, Hellebuck on these shots, he is definitely out at the top of the crease now. He is no longer back in the net.
Oh. Good defensive hockey game. Be honest, this has been a good defensive hockey game.
And back and forth, up and down, 200 foot.
Big save.
Oh, that was careless. Wow. That was really
There have been some comments that Colt has been off. Do you see that? Have you seen Colt being off?
I don't know if he's off, but I mean, he hasn't gotten the ice time.
Colton Parayko. It's Colton. I haven't. I mean, I haven't heard his name called a lot, and I'll say that.
Right. Yeah.
And usually that's what tells me a lot about what names you hear called.
Right.
So many pucks bouncing over sticks at the blue line, effing crazy. Yeah. The Jets the ice in Winnipeg for some reason has always been bad. Right. I don't know why, but it just always seems that way.
You would think as cold as it is up there, it would be great ice.
Well, how far north are they really? I mean, they're not like super north of the border, are they?
No, they're only maybe an hour and a half over the border. But listen, Portage and Maine is the coldest place in North America.
Yeah.
In January, the average temperature up there, minus 40, minus 30. I mean, it's crazy.
doesn't make all of Twitter, right, Erickson? I don't know if he's been bad. I mean, I haven't heard his name a lot. He hasn't gotten any penalties. Let's see what's his numbers just on. He's a -2, 23 shifts, 2 shots on goal. So no hits.
What's his time of ice
no
time?
shots, no giveaways, no takeaways, no hits. So yeah, I can see where some of that's coming off.
Well, how much time has he been on the ice?
Pareko 18-16.
So 8. Well, he's gotten the time because he's going to.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there for the defenseman.
Yeah, he's going to end up with 21 minutes at least by the time the game's over. Gosh, every time I see that goal.
Luck's got 19:01, so he's right there.
.522.
Jets are playing smart. I don't know about it. They're playing. It's been a good game. I don't think they've let off the gas, Ryan.
I think more so Winnipeg is just playing really good defensively right now.
Yeah, they're playing extremely good defensively right now. And you got to get them to make a mistake.
Yeah.
And they haven't yet.
They're playing the type of game that won them the President's Trophy this year.
Yep. I agree with that.
Are playing that type of game right now.
Yep.
They're locking it down. There's a lot of offensive time, like look at another face-off in the St. Louis zone. That
second goal, Matt Lowe had there's no way Benner was stopped. Benner didn't even know that goal was in the net. That pass was that play was so quick. Benner had no chance saving that goal. None. There was a big mistake.
So Montreal and Washington's going to overtime.
Right.
And we got a barn burner in Winnipeg.
Yep.
4 minutes, just a little over 4 minutes to go. And really, it's a one-shot game. Anything could happen. You got to figure there's 2 minutes before they pull Benner.
I say not till the 1 minute mark, especially the way that they're buzzing right now. This isn't one of those times where you want to pull them early. You want to make sure that you're starting to get some control, that Winnipeg backs off a little bit.
You know who started all that 2 minutes and 3 minutes?
Berube.
No. Do you remember?
Patrick Waugh.
Yeah. And because I remember growing up, it was always 1 minute and then you'd pull the goalie. 1 minute, pull the goalie. It's 2 minutes, 2:20. I've seen it 3 minutes. When Waugh started that, it seems like every coach in the league said, "Oh, we're doing it. We're all doing it." I mean, they know how to clear the zone and not ice the puck. Oh, I thought he put it in.
I see this being a tie game. I think it's going to be a tie game.
There's an icing. Huge face-off coming. Huge face-off coming.
Yes.
You see what I mean? He hit the side of the net there. I thought it was in for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is big. This is huge. You do not want to go back to St. Louis with the Jets up on you.
Yeah, no, you don't. And got to get the puck and control it. That's why I'm not a fan of pulling the goalie at a time limit. I'm a fan of pulling the goalie at the game situation.
Yeah, when
If
the momentum's
you're
in
not holding the
your
puck,
favor.
you're not controlling the puck, it makes no sense pulling the goalie whatsoever.
Well,
If you're not entering the zone, if you're not getting the puck in, if you're not getting good line changes, if you're not doing the things that are going to help you score a goal, pulling the goalie ain't going to help you score a goal.
how many times have you seen this guy? They pull the goalie, 6
And the
seconds
goal goes
later,
right in.
they score a goal.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. I will agree with you 100%. If the
Yeah.
momentum's in your favor and you got control of that puck, then you go crazy and pull them.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to call his timeout here or no?
I would.
Shovel day off. I think he's the longest tenured GM in the league now. Oh, he wouldn't let him get them. He wouldn't let him get him in there. He called it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to give Montgomery a little credit there. He waited to the very last second to call that timeout. He got a few extra seconds.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't usually let you do that.
You got away with one there.
He got it. He manipulated that really nice if you're a Blues fan. Connor scored the second goal for Winnipeg, right?
Yeah.
So this will be 2 game winners in a row if they can't score here.
It's been a hell of a game tonight.
Oh, great game. Best game of the playoffs yet. Yeah.
Well, they pulled Bennington. I think it's too early.
Okay, here we go. Well, you've got the offensive zone face off. You got a bank that
Yeah, but you haven't had good control of the puck up to this point.
Not.
And that's the difference. That's why. See, there you go.
Oh no. Oh, he couldn't hold it in. Ouch. They got it out again.
Oh, man. What a game. Face-offs ended up going Winnipeg's way. They were Blues' way the most of the game.
I'll tell you, I've been on the edge of my seat the whole game.
Actually, no, they're still in favor of the Blues. Oh, no, they are.
21-19 in shots.
Yeah.
Who wins it? Huge win for the Jets.
Oh, there you go, Parayko.
Nice. Oh.
Cleared it again. 44 seconds to go. Still time for a rush.
That's got it. No, he tipped it. You have plenty of time, 40 seconds. Can the Jets hold them off, or do the Blues come back and tie it up and send it to OT?
We'll see. 25 seconds. Oh, there it is. $14 seconds.
Now the fans are going.
Yeah. That's it. Well, great play by great game. Great game. Great game. Blues end up losing 2-1. 1-goal games basically, because you can't count the empty netter.
Right.
Two solid games. Hellebuck outplays Bennington, but barely. Both goals on Bennington were well. One goal was a really good goal. The other one was a junk. Blues only get 1 goal tonight. Solid game, man. And I'm talked out, Wayne. I am talked out, bud.
Listen, it's been fun. I don't work Wednesday either. That's the next game, right?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so they're off a couple days.
Yeah, 2 days off.
Understood.
All right. So hopefully, are you got to work Thursday?
I've got to see. I know I'm going to be in transit going to. I go to Locust Grove, Georgia this weekend, but I'll hit you up on Thursday and see if because I'd love to do it again with you.
I'll be here.
You got it, pal. Have a great night, and everybody remember, watch for Guy because he's going to be where?
Right here.
NHL channel.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'll let you know when it's
buddy.
Thank you, man. Take it easy.
Care.
Bye, Wayne. Well, guys, thanks for watching tonight. Had a great one. See you soon. This is Guy saying aloha mahalo. And you got to know we're doing what? What?
Hawaii Blues fan. We're bleeding blue with